WWE champion Bobby Lashley pinned for the first time since maybe January this year by Kofi Kingston. We're going to talk about it in just a second, so stay tuned. This is the Raw review. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's WrestleManiac UK here, Mex. I'm back with another video, and this week, today, we are looking at the Raw review. A very underwhelming show compared to the pay-per-view we had the night before. This show was underwhelming, but it's Raw, so I guess we've come to expect that. But like we said, in the main event, Kofi Kingston pinned Bobby Lashley. That hasn't happened for absolute months now, so we're going to get into it in just a second, so stay tuned. And right here at WrestleMania UK, I discuss everything that's WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well, so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the Raw review. The show opened up with Bobby Lashley and MVP coming down to the ring. MVP was flanked by about 5 honeys. You know, this was the surprise that MVP had teased him with, that you're going to get girls, women. So he came down to the ring with these women, and him and MVP was already in the ring. Lashley was very kind of in celebratory mood. MVP put him over, you know, with despite injuries, despite, you know, 2 competitors, Lashley still came out on top. And that Lashley was supposed to have the night off. However, Lashley is going to compete. And MVP said, so we're going to issue an open challenge for, you know, whoever's in the back that wants to come out and go against the WWE champion. Without any hesitation, Drew McIntyre's music hit. Drew McIntyre came out and he accepted the challenge. And MVP said, well, Drew, if you didn't interrupt me and let me finish what I was saying, open challenges for anyone but you and Braun Strowman. So Drew is a bit annoyed by that, obviously. And then Drew attacks Bobby Lashley, hits him with a punch. The ladies kind of run into the corner. And Bobby Lashley falls outside the ring. MVP jumps outside the ring. And MVP is stopping Bobby Lashley from getting back into the ring. But Drew McIntyre is obviously quite peed off right now. So, yeah, this was pretty much the opening segment. We were going to see this open challenge later on in the night in the main event. I did assume, you know, these two would tangle one more time, especially since, you know, Drew wasn't pinned on Backlash and that. I thought this feud has to come to an end maybe in the next month now. It's been going on for too long. Hell in a Cell's next pay-per-view. Give them a bit of a blood feud, you know, turn this into a blood feud, should I say, going into that pay-per-view. And just give them a Hell in a Cell match. Let them just beat the hell out of each other, and whoever walks out champion, that's that in it. Like, it's run its course. But I know, you know, as you can see, it looks like we're gonna get one more match out of them, at least one more match. So yeah, again, that was the opening segment. We move on to the first bit of action on the night, and it was Elias versus AJ Styles. Now, very weird heel versus heel dynamic here, but for me, it looked like, you know, AJ Styles and almost maybe being turned to faces in all of this. Yeah, I think that's what the plan is, because obviously Elias was being particularly nasty to AJ. And then we saw, despite an okay match, the chemistry wasn't really there and never really kicked off. Maybe it was just a timing, never had enough time to tell the story. We saw Jackson Riker pull AJ's foot off the apron at one point, which disqualified Elias from the match. And then almost went chasing Riker. Elias continued to beat down on AJ Styles. So yeah, maybe they're trying to make AJ and almost you know, faces, tweeners at the very least, and Elias and Jackson Riker just solidify them as heels. But bit of a nothing match, nothing really to talk about there. It was just very random, and yeah, that's about it. Next up on the card, we had Angel Garza versus Drew Gulak. So obviously these two faced each other 2 weeks ago. Angel Garza more or less squashing Gulak and sticking the rose down his trousers near his bum. This week they had a rematch, and Garza, pretty much as effective as he was 2 weeks ago, more or less dispatching of Gulak fairly quickly. He hit him with a wing clipper for the win. He then considered taking out a rose again, which he eventually did, and he stuffed this rose this time into Drew Gulak's mouth. So it looks like any gap or any hole, he is trying to stuff a rose into Drew Gulak. Yeah, a bit weird, but Angel Garza's got all the tools. Drew Gulak has as well, but I don't know what they're doing, man. But yeah, Angel Garza, at least they look like they're doing something with him, and stuff is kind of coming together with everything they're doing with him. Next up on the show, we had Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton. So this match came about by Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Riddle were in the back talking. Riddle was saying that, I need your help. There's a two-headed snake around here that I want to catch or something like that. All of a sudden, we see Randy Orton walk into scene, and he was like, "Where's, you called me here. I thought we're having a discussion with Adam Pearce. Why am I here?" And it had turned out that Riddle had basically pulled a fast one on New Day and Randy Orton so that Randy Orton could apologize to the New Day for attacking them last week. Randy Orton obviously said, "I'm not apologizing because I'm not sorry. Like, why should I apologize?" Kofi Kingston said, I was never going to accept your apology anyway, and challenged him to a match, and he said, let's roll back the years like 2009 and let's go at it again. Randy Orton accepted, so we got the match, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton. Pretty good match. Obviously, these guys know each other very, very well, over 10 years in terms of experience in ring together. So, the chemistry was there. In the end, Kofi Kingston got the win because Xavier Woods was on the outside playing the trombone thing, and he distracted Randy Orton. Kofi Kingston rolled up Randy Orton, and that was it. And as New Day celebrated, Randy Orton was quite annoyed and left the ring. And then we saw Riddle kind of turn in terms of his behavior anyway towards New Day. And he pushed over Xavier Woods, leaving the ring quite annoyed and just, saying some words to them. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting if Randy Orton maybe starts taking to Riddle, if Riddle adopts this kind of edgy behavior, heelish behavior, and you kind of slowly starts dropping the dopiness and becomes more vicious. I think Randy Orton might like that and maybe try to start molding him into something like a mini viper, a mini snake. Let me know what you think about that, or do you think this is just going to be a case of Riddle apologizing next week, and maybe we get RK Bro versus New Day again, which is probably very likely. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. Right, next up on the show, we had a women's segment backstage first. So we saw the other tag teams like Naomi and Lana and Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose complaining to the general managers that, who's next in line? Why does Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler get a rematch? We should be next in line, and we should be next in line. Everyone's trying to state their case and all of that kind of stuff. And Sonya Deville basically said, look, we will sort this out once we know who's going to walk out of tonight's match as a winner. Charlotte Flair had walked in as well, and Charlotte Flair was saying that she wants a rematch, or she wants a match against Rhea Ripley for the championship. And Charlotte was going to do this. Like, we all said she was going to do this because she didn't get pinned and all of that kind of stuff. They granted her a match against Asuka, and they said, face Asuka, and we'll see what goes from there. They didn't quite say it was a number one contenders match, but they said, face Asuka, and we'll see what happens. Rhea Ripley also walked into shot here and said, yeah, she needs new competitors, and she'll take on whoever comes her way and all that kind of stuff. So we had the actual match here of the Women's Tag Championships rematch. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler going up against the champions Tamina and Natalia. Pretty bog standard stuff that we've seen from all of these guys. Reginald was back at ringside, and when I guess the mad thing was about to happen, we saw Alexa Bliss come out ringside. And Alexa Bliss had obviously had the Women's Tag Champions on her Playground show earlier on in the night. Alexa Bliss came out with Lily. They panned the camera to her, panned the camera back to the action in the ring, and then we saw one of the turnbuckles literally shoot up like a fire or something like that. Reginald, who was on the stairs behind this turnbuckle, literally jumped off it and into the barricade, holding his face, holding his eyes for the rest of the match. He had been blinded or something along those lines, I guess. And then from here, I guess Shayna Baszler was a bit distracted. Tamina came in. They gave her the heart attack move, and Natalya pinned Shayna Baszler. So the women's champions retain. Maybe we're going to see something in the way of a number one contendership for the women's tag team championships soon. And Alexa Bliss, Lily, who do they have their eyes on here? Tamina and Natalya, or on Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax? We saw the funny thing happen to Shayna Baszler's leg last week, so maybe it is Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler was on the ring this week when this happened. Are they going to make Lily and Alexa Bliss women's tag champions? This was mentioned to me earlier today. Please, God, no. How are you going to make a doll tag champion? Like, I hope they do not go down the road of doing that, because that is the official burial of those tag team championships. Although people say it's buried now, if you make a doll and Alexa Bliss tag team champions, that is the worst thing you can do. Trust me. I really don't want to see it, but I just can't tell what they're doing with Alexa Bliss and Lily. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think, but this is something I definitely don't want to see. I doubt anyone does, but yeah. Let's pick up Jonathan Rodney in the chat. He says mini snake. Yeah, man. I think Randy Orton might do something there with Riddle if he's gonna be a heel. But we will see. Right, guys. Before we move on to what I thought was probably the better half of better third of the show on the night. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button. It does loads for the channel. Appreciate it every time you guys do. Lets this video be seen by more and more people. So yeah, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button. Next up on the show, we had Sheamus versus Ricochet. So these guys clashed on the pre-show of WrestleMania Backlash in a non-title bout. This was also a non-title bout. Ricochet had again stolen the clothes backstage of Sheamus. So Sheamus came out and was very angry. And we saw a really good battle between these guys. It was the flippy stuff of Ricochet versus the sheer power and brutality of Sheamus. We saw a Spanish fly from the top rope, which didn't quite land right. Sheamus looked a bit hurt afterwards, but he continued the match anyway. And yeah, just a lot of hard hitting slaps. That kind of approach as Sheamus. What we've come to get from Sheamus in recent times. I'm still going to mention I like this Ricochet's new look with the trousers and the jeans, the black jeans and stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't look like he's being pushed. He's lost his last two outings against Sheamus now. But I do hope that maybe this is just a new look, a new kind of angle, a refreshed kind of approach that they may take with Ricochet, hopefully. I mean, that's what they can wish for. But Ricochet showed some kind of defiance right towards the end, slapping Sheamus before Sheamus kind of backs himself into the corner and ran across the ring and delivered the bro kick, kicking Ricochet's head off, pins Ricochet. And just mocks Ricochet afterwards, says he's not dancing now and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, Sheamus continues to look dominant. Next up on the show, we had the women's match, as promised, Asuka versus Charlotte. And to me, this was match of the night. This was such a good match. And obviously these guys have clashed many a time now over the last, 4 years or so. So yeah, this was really, really good, really special occasion. And like I said, it had been implied that the winner of this match would get a number one contendership spot for the women's championship. It wasn't quite said, but it was kind of implied by the general managers. We did see Rhea Ripley come down to the ring about halfway through this match. We did see Rhea Ripley kind of get involved somewhat in towards the finish, where she was up on the apron. Charlotte went for a big boot to Asuka, actually missed Asuka and connected with Rhea Ripley. And as her leg was draped over the top rope, Asuka rolled up Charlotte Flair for the win. So great to see Asuka get a big win after, there's several losses to Rhea Ripley, that being pinned on the weekend at the pay-per-view. Good to see Asuka get a win. Obviously, it's very surprising to see Charlotte lose at the best of times. So yeah, I think, like we said, that's their out. They never said that this was a number one contenders match. So Asuka's won the match, but in realness, they could make this a bit of an insignificant win, if you see what I mean. But the match itself, just for those that love wrestling, this was a very good match. So make sure you go and watch that if you haven't already. Daniel in the chat, thanks for joining us, bro. He says 2 years of being humiliated and Ricochet is still one of my favorites. Likewise, man. It's an absolute shame, but the guy is good, man. Like, the guy is honestly so special when it comes to performing in that ring. You just think that they would do something serious with him, but I don't know. I honestly think Ricochet's best bet right now is to go back to NXT. He never won the NXT title, so that could be a angle for him. The cruiserweight division could do with a great name like Ricochet as well. So yeah, I think NXT has to be where he goes, especially to just kind of course correct things before maybe coming back to the main roster one day. But yeah, let's move on to the second to last match, which was a lumberjack match. No zombies involved this time. Damien Priest versus John Morrison. This was good. This was what a lumberjack match should have been, not the ever nonsense we gave us at the pay-per-view, which I honestly can't even reference because I hardly watched it because I just thought, what the hell is this? So yeah, this was really good. We had even a lumber Jill ringside in Nikki Cross. Haven't seen her for a while, and she got involved as well in the match, pushing back one of the opponents back into the ring. Yeah, this was a really good, hard fought match. I can't wait till John Morrison ditches Miz, and we can just see great John Morrison matches week after week. You did see a big superplex to the entire field towards the ending, superplex to the outside towards all the lumberjacks. But once they got back in the ring, we saw Damien Priest for the umpteenth time in so many weeks hit the lights to John Morrison, pin John Morrison for the win. So again, Damien Priest picks up another win, kind of teases in his interview after this that he may go after the WWE champion in the open challenge at the end of the night. But talking about that, it wasn't Damien Priest. We'll get on to who it was in just a second. So we're here, main event. Bobby Lashley comes out, enters the ring, MVP, and that they're about to announce who the competitor is going to be, and we hear New Day's music hit. Now, when I heard this music hit, I genuinely thought Big E was gonna come out, and I know that's not even Big E's music right now, but I thought obviously his boys are here on Raw. Maybe he's linked back up with them, and Big E has come to answer the open challenge. And mate, that would have been phenomenal, because if Big E comes to answer the challenge, all of a sudden you have intrigue. Oh my god, like, is Big E gonna win tonight? Those questions can be asked. No Big E. It was Xavier Woods and it was Kofi Kingston, with Xavier Woods frantically pointing at Kofi Kingston. So Kofi Kingston is answering this perceived WWE Championship Open Challenge. Okay. So I'm still at this point, I can see Xavier Woods pointing at Kofi Kingston, and I'm still saying it's not Kofi Kingston. Bobby Lashley is looking surprised as hell in the ring, like, Kofi Kingston, like, what do you want with the WWE Championship? I'm still thinking, because obviously, like I say, we saw Damien Priest kind of throw his name into the hat. We saw Sheamus throw his name into the hat, a couple others. I was thinking, okay, maybe a load of guys are gonna come out and be like, yeah, I want him, and I want him, and I want him. No, it was Kofi Kingston. Yeah. Very underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming. And I like Kofi Kingston. I think he's great, but very underwhelming. Again, Raw had the opportunity right here. They set this up themselves. We never asked for it. Open challenge, blah, blah, blah. They had opportunity to do something really special here, really different. Call up someone, introduce someone, someone returns, someone we never thought, or I don't know. Like, I guess Kofi was someone we never thought, but very underwhelming. And we had seen him already on the night. And as the match was starting and the referee was going to announce that, it's a WWE Championship match, MVP took the mic and said, "Yo, I never said it was a WWE Championship match. Neither did Bobby Lashley. Neither did Adam Pearce. We said it's an open challenge." So, yeah, everyone's a bit peed off with that. Kofi gets the running jump on Bobby Lashley. Once the match officially starts, we saw a big spine buster by Bobby Lashley onto Kofi Kingston. Kofi got some offense in elsewhere within this match, but it was not nothing special. Bobby Lashley dominated for long periods in this match. At one point when Kofi was on, I can't even think Kofi was on the outside. Bobby Lashley was on his shoulder. We saw Xavier Woods get involved and pull Kofi off of Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley got back into the ring. We saw what's his face? MVP went to attack Kofi Kingston with the cane he has, and Drew McIntyre came out of nowhere, took the cane from MVP and kind of scared him off. And then Bobby Lashley poked his head out of the ring, and McIntyre kind of thrusted the cane into like Bobby Lashley's chest area. And from here, Kofi Kingston rolled up Bobby Lashley and pinned him. So Kofi Kingston has pinned the WWE champion Bobby Lashley, who hasn't been pinned in about 4 or 5 months now. Um, I mean, good for Kofi. It's brilliant. I just didn't really like the way it was framed and everything. And obviously, he made the way with Xavier Woods and Drew McIntyre. It was almost like, for those that have been watching NXT, where you saw, Leon Ruff, the underdog, going up against Johnny Gargano, and Damien Priest at the time was here helping him get wins and all of that kind of stuff. Kofi Kingston, does he need help from Drew McIntyre? Really? Like, yes, he's a smaller guy than, the likes of McIntyre and Lashley, but it was framed as like I needed the help to get the win and I'm the kind of underdog and all of that kind of stuff, where Kofi Kingston is an experienced veteran at this point. Like, let's be honest. He gets a win here over Bobby Lashley. Does he return to, ask for a WWE Championship match? Who knows? He won't win that one, I don't think. McIntyre is clearly not finished with Lashley, and that's what makes you think that Kofi Kingston is just a byproduct in all of this being told here. McIntyre is obviously the one that still wants his hands on Lashley. So yeah, it was underwhelming. I think that's the main thing. They had a chance to do something really good, really special, something different, and it was underwhelming in terms of what they went with. No slight on Kofi. It's just at this stage you're kind of looking for more, and it's the main event. You've built it up to the main event, and you're thinking, okay, who are we seeing? A returning Keith Lee or someone different, someone from NXT? No, it wasn't any one of those options. It was Kofi Kingston. So yeah, that was Raw. Like I said at the top, very underwhelming show compared to what we got at the pay-per-view. Highlights for me: the women's match, Asuka versus Charlotte, was fantastic. Ricochet versus Sheamus was a lot of fun as well. So yeah, 2 matches if you want to go and just watch some good old wrestling that you can check in for, because those are really good. Jonathan Rodney says here, rubbish main event. I think would have been dope if it was almost someone, bro. Anybody. It would like literally almost is a good shout as well. That would have been fun. But I just think, yeah, and like I say, it's no slight on Kofi Kingston. It was just very, very underwhelming for everything they kind of built it up to be, with people saying all night long that they might take on Bobby Lashley. It was Kofi Kingston, who we had already seen earlier on the night. But hey, guys, that was Raw. Don't know if you enjoyed it or not. It was just underwhelming. That's the word of the day, man. It was underwhelming. But please, if you enjoyed this review, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.